It's billed as the largest model railroad park in the country, and it's home to one of the largest model rail clubs in the U.S. It's the Adobe Mountain Desert Railroad Park, and it's our first stop.
It's Sunday afternoon in Maricopa County, Arizona, and people have come from near and far to the Adobe Mountain Desert Railroad Park. Located in northwest Phoenix, the park is home to the Adobe Western Railroad, a large-scale model railroad run by members of the Maricopa Live Steamers. Every Sunday, club members offer free train rides to the public, and this is what has drawn these folks here today.
The Adobe Mountain Railroad is on 145 acres of land in northwest Phoenix. We're a 7.5-inch gauge railroad, and we have about 15 miles of track divided up into 5 branches. 4 of the 5 branches are a bidirectional running branch, point to point, and the 5th branch being just a super huge long, about a 2.5 mile loop. We've got bridges and we've got little towns and different structures and buildings that simulate what you would see along a railroad.
The Adobe Mountain Railroad is one of the biggest large-scale model railroads in the U.S. And with names like Fort Where Am I and Dinky Ditch, there's plenty of fun packed into this Old West railroading adventure. But the main attraction is the magnificent desert scenery.
Very natural habitat. We tried to move the railroad within the habitat so we could keep it. So we have quite a few Palo Verde trees, we have mesquite trees, quite a bit of creosote, and a lot of natural vegetation typical for Arizona. The wildlife's pretty incredible. It's very friendly. We have a lot of quail and doves. The jackrabbits are out all season long, plus we have the ground squirrels coming out. We have a family of coyotes that lives here on the railroad, so we get to see them quite frequently. A lot of birds too. We have hawks, a couple hawks, and we even have an owl that lives here.
At any one time, 2 or 3 public trains are out on the tracks, along with a freight train or 2. With all this rail traffic, safety is key. Members of the Live Steamers use a similar signal system that standard gauge railroads use. Trains are operated by certified engineers who keep in radio contact with the station master. All these safeguards help keep the Adobe Mountain Railroad running smoothly and safely. When visitors need a break from the hot desert sun, they head for the clubhouse of the Arizona Model Railroading Society, or AMRS. Members run 3 model train layouts, N, HO, and G gauges.
Well, the HO layout really is themed around the 1950s in southern Arizona. We're covering the operations of some of the major areas, Phoenix, Tucson, Yuma, and that is all done in a space that's about 20 feet by 50 feet, and the shape of the layout is a H shape, so operators can walk around the outside and then walk inside the H, as it were, and get really close to the trains as they travel around the layout. There are 3 independent loops on the HO layout. This permits train operations so that we could have trains that are running sort of just around the layout while allowing the ability to do switching, so trains can come on and off the main line without interrupting any of the other 2 main lines.
Up to 9 members of the AMRS can run trains on the layout at the same time as they travel 250 scale miles through the southern Arizona landscape.
The HO group is really working on refining their operation plan, trying to really figure out how to add more scenery, more buildings to the layout to really make it a museum-quality layout.
In another area of the clubhouse, the N-scale layout, with its 330 feet of main line, allows visitors to experience a trip from the Midwestern United States to the Western Shore.
In the N-scale layout, we figured there's a lot of opportunity for different scenic aspects, different industries that we might think of as we went along. And it being a fairly large layout, we decided let's come up with just the main line concept, and we could start cutting in sidings and turnouts. So it's given us a lot of opportunity to change things, and one of the biggest changes, we had a staging track plan for the entire length of the layout. Decided it was too long, and we cut that out and actually put the track above ground and create a really, really dramatic scenic aspect at the mountain area. Scenery is the biggest area we're working on right now. Really going for drama as we travel from one end of the country to the other across the layout. Additionally, as we've started constructing the N-track modules comprising the dock section and the yard section, We hope to really make that a traveling piece so that we can reach out to the community and really bring the idea of model railroading to a lot of the younger folks.
Visitors outdoors can check out the G-scale layout, which mirrors the western mountain terrain.
Well, the G-scale layout actually consists of two different layouts coupled together. And between the two, there's almost 800 feet on the inside and 900 feet of main line on the outside layout. There are about 16 bridges that crisscross the layout, going over ponds, ravines, and other tracks. The two ponds that you see connected together measure 65 feet by 15 feet, and we have quite a bit of animal life that live in those ponds, between goldfish and turtles and such. The staging trestle was built with individual pieces of redwood all bolted together. It wasn't a single nail used in its construction. And as we go throughout the track, we see all the turnouts are individually hand-built by the members. Early on in the layout's operation, we discovered that powering the trains with batteries proved to be more reliable than using track power. With our harsh desert climate, the desert winds during monsoon and dust storms really would put a lot of dirt on the tracks. So with the battery power, the trains are completely immune to the dirt, and which means we don't have to clean the tracks, which is a great maintenance boon during the storms.
Back at the Adobe station, an engineer is steaming up an engine. The live steamers boast 50-plus engines, over 200 freight cars, and a variety of specialty trains. While most of the engines are hydraulic, there are a collection of steam engines that burn coal, oil, propane, and wood.
Should be ready to go.
Most of the trains are stored at the park in 20 to 40-foot containers. But these aren't your typical storage units. The city thought that having so many containers in one place would create an eyesore. So the live steamers cleverly decorated them with false fronts to look like an Old West town. As clever as the units are on the outside, what's really impressive is their interior design.
We found out that these shipping containers that they use on the ships for hauling goods across the ocean were available, and we were able to purchase them, and we set them up as a storage container for our trains. We put multiple levels of track in there, and it makes a very nice storage container.
The last train of the day is about to leave the station. By the time it returns, over 300 people will have ridden on the Adobe Mountain Railroad and enjoyed the model train layouts. That's 300 new rail fans that will know a little more about the exciting hobby of model railroading and Arizona's rich and colorful railroad heritage.